Hello students, now we are doing the chapter structure of atom and we are on the topic now that dual behavior of matter. Earlier we understood the dual behavior of the radiations that are waves, and now we are on the topic dual behavior of matter. So the French physicist de Broglie in 1924 proposed this theory in which he said, as radiations exhibit the dual behavior, that particle as well as the wave behavior, similar to that behavior, matter should also exhibit dual behavior. Okay, so he said that as photon has momentum and wavelength, likewise electron also should have the momentum and wavelength. So he gave the relation between the momentum and the wavelength, p and lambda. So before go to this equation or relation which is given by the de Broglie, we will first understand the equations which earlier scientists gave. That is the Planck equation, that is E equal to Planck constant velocity by wavelength, and Einstein mass equation, that is E equal to mc square. Now from these two equations we can get the relation, that is hc, because these both are equal to E. So hc by lambda will equal to mc square here. Now c is cancelled by here and we can write v in place of c here, because it is showing the velocity and v is also showing the velocity. So what we did, h by lambda will equal to the mv, mass into velocity. Then we know that mv is equal to the momentum p, because p equal to mv, so we will replace this value by momentum p. So now it become h by lambda by equal to p, or if we will take lambda here, then it will become lambda will equal to h by p. So wavelength will equal to the Planck constant by momentum. Okay, now this is called the dual nature of matter equation. This equation shows the dual nature of the matter. Now we know kinetic energy is equal to half mv square, and if we multiply the both side by the m, then what we will get? We will get m ke will equal to half m square v square. Okay, or we can write it like, we will take 2 here, so 2 m ke equal to m square v square. Now mv is equal to the p, so here is square, so we will also do square here, so 2m ke will equal to p square. Or how we can write it? We will remove the square and put under root, so p equal to root 2m ke. Okay, now we get the value of p here, so we will put this value in equation 3, that is this equation which shows the dual behavior of the matter. So what we will get? We will get lambda will equal to h Planck constant divided by root 2m ke. So this is a equation which is derived by the de Broglie. Okay, now we will go for the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So Heisenberg was the scientist which gave his uncertainty principle about the atom and the electron. So he said that it is impossible to determine simultaneously the exact position and the momentum or velocity of an electron. So he said that when an electron is revolving around a atom in a orbit or in a shell, so it is not possible to find out the position and the velocity of the electron at the same time or simultaneously. Why it is not possible? Because Suppose here is a nucleus, okay, and now it is an electron which is revolving like this. Now why I am doing the dotted line here? Because the electron is move in a rough path. It is not move in a fixed orbits. So it move like this. Now how we get this path? This path is just we assume by the pictures which we get with the help of a device. So with the help of device, when we get the pictures of motion of the electron, and the pictures can be in large number, it can be in thousand or lakhs, and when we join the pictures, then we get somewhat idea that electron is revolving like this around a nucleus. And if somehow the electron gets the energy, receives the energy from the light or from the photon, then after getting the energy it will deviate from its path. So now if it is revolving here, so it will go here and start revolving, then it will again come to its ground level, again it can have energy, and again it can come to the ground level. So what will happen, that if we want to, the velocity of the electron is changing, the position of the electron is changing, so simultaneously we cannot note down the position and the velocity of the electron, because once we start to find out the velocity of the electron, its position changes. When we start to finding the position of the electron, its velocity changes. So what the Heisenberg says, he says that there is a certainty in the movement of the electron, so it is not possible to find the position and the velocity of the electron simultaneously. Okay, now what he did, he just took position of the electron as x and change in position as delta x. In the same way, he took momentum of the electron p and change in momentum delta p. Now we know that p equal to mv, so delta p will also equal to m into delta v, because mass will not change whether its position changes or not, or velocity changes or not, the mass of the body does not change. So we will not write here delta, so its velocity changes, so we write here delta v. Now he said that delta x and delta p, its value can be greater or equal to the h by 4 pi. Okay, or the value of delta x, delta v, we are writing in place of delta p its value mv. Okay, that is why. So its value can be more than or equal to what value? H by 4 pi m or h by 4 pi. Okay, now Heisenberg observed that the atom do not have the fixed or accurate boundaries, they have the irregular boundaries. As we observe here, they have the irregular boundaries, and his principle was significant only for the microscopic objects, and it is not successful or it is negligible for the macroscopic objects which are bigger in size. So those objects which are bigger in size, this law is negligible, but for the microscopic objects this principle is significant. Okay, now we will go for the reason of failure of Bohr's model. Okay, so what were the limitations of the Bohr model? It was found after the later on discoveries that what was the limitations was present in the Bohr's model. The first limitation was the wave character of the electron not considered in Bohr's model. So what Niels Bohr said, he said that electron have fixed energy. It revolve in a fixed orbits with a fixed radius. But later on we find that it is not like that. The orbits are not fixed for the electron because the electron have the wave nature, and it, by changing its velocity, it changes its orbits also, its path also. So what the Bohr observed, it was become limitation of this law. Now next, according to Bohr, orbit is well defined path. Bohr said that electrons are revolving or moving in a well defined path, but if any object is moving in a well defined path, it means it should have the velocity and the position at the same time. Means it should have the velocity and its position exactly at the same time. So we should calculate it, but it is not like that, because Heisenberg says that we cannot find the velocity or the position of the electron at the same time because it changes accordingly, right? So these are the limitations of Bohr's model. Now we will go for the quantum mechanical model of atom, or we can also say this wave mechanical model of atom. So the branch of science that deals with the dual behavior of matter is called quantum mechanics. So in which we study the dual behavior of matter, we study it in quantum mechanics. Now here a new scientist which gave this law, and the scientist name is Schrödinger wave equation, which he gave his equation. So this equation is known as the Schrödinger wave equation. So what is the equation is? That is d square psi by dx square plus d square psi by dy square, d square psi by dz square plus 8 pi square m h square e minus v psi equal to 0. Now what are the values here? The equation is long only, but it is not tough to learn. You can learn it easily. So where psi is a wave function and it has no physical significance. Okay, so psi is a wave function here, but there is no physical significance of this psi. But when we write psi as psi square, then it gives the probability of finding 90% electron around the nucleus. M is mass here, H Planck constant, E energy, and V is potential energy here. Okay, now what are these x, y, z? These are the axes. Now how we represent the position of the electron? So according to this model or theory of the Schrödinger, he said that electron can be also considered as a 3D structure. So what happened? It is a x-axis, it is a y, and it is a z-axis. So according to this, the electron can move and do motion in 3 ways. So first way is like this. Okay, the second way is like this, and third way is like this. So the first way in which it can move, it is like this. The second way, it is horizontally like this, and third way to revolve around the nucleus is like this. Okay, so these axes are just representing that an electron can move in 3 ways. So first is in vertical motion, horizontal, and diagonally also. Okay, now as I show you earlier also, that how electron move around the nucleus, they move like in a rough boundaries, not a definite path. So these are the rough boundaries. So it is a motion of picture of only one electron. it is a picture of only one electron. Only one electron is moving like this, and we took the several pictures of this electron of motion, and when we joined these pictures together, then we just get this rough idea that how electron is move around the nucleus. So here where the dense structure is found of the electron movement, this is called the electron cloud, and probability of finding the electron is 90% here, and other than this boundary is only 10%. So it is not 100%, it is only 90%, and it is a nucleus. Okay, and it is seems like a cloud, so it is called the electron cloud. Now Schrödinger called its orbital or a electron cloud. So first the word orbital is used by the Schrödinger, and it is also called this area as a cloud. Now he found the quantum numbers that are the Schrödinger just observe the quantum numbers. And what are that quantum numbers? We will see here. The first quantum number name is principal quantum number, the second is azimuthal quantum number, third is magnetic quantum number, and later on after the more discoveries, fourth quantum number is also found, that is spin quantum number. So the first quantum number is represented by n, next is by L, then M, and then S. Okay, and if we write the shells here, so it is a K shell, it is in L shell, M shell, and N shells. Okay, now we will see these quantum number in detail. So first is principal quantum number N. So we will first just read about this. So this quantum number is tell about electron situated in which shell or orbit. So this quantum number just tell us that in which shell or orbit the electrons are present or electrons are situated. Suppose if n equal to 1, if quantum number n, principal quantum number n equal to 1, what does it mean? It means electron is present in first shell. If it is 2, it means electron is present in second shell, and if it is 3, it means the electron is present in third shell. Now energy of the cell will be low in the shell which are near to the nucleus, and increases when the shells are far away from the nucleus. So energy of the N1 is less than N2, N2 is less than N3, and N3 is less than N4, and so on. Right? Now we will go for the next quantum number, that is azimuthal quantum number, that is represented by the L. Okay. Now this quantum number tells about the subshell in which electron is present. It tells about the shells. It tells about the subshells, and subshells are present inside the shell. Okay. Now the formula to find out the L is n minus 1. Okay, so when we deduct 1 from the principal quantum number n, we will get L. Okay, now its representation, how we will represent the L? The representation of L is 0 to L. So we will start it from 0 and ends on the L. Now suppose if the n equals to 1, means principal quantum number is 1. So for this quantum number, what will be the value of L? That is 1 minus 1, that will be 0, and representation is also be 0 here. Next, if n equal to 2, then what will be the value of 2 minus 1? It will be 1, and how will we represent it? When we will go for 1, then 0 will also come before 1. So how will we represent? Because we have to represent it from 0 to L. So we will start every azimuthal number from 0. Then we will reach the value of L. Okay. So what is representation of this? This will be 0, 1. Okay. Now next is L equal to 2. So what will be the representation? 0, 1, then 2. Okay. And if it is 3, then 0, 1, 2, then 3. Understand? Now, if L equal to 0, it means what? That it has only one subshell. If L equal to 0 and 1, it means in second shell there is two subshell. And if L equal to what? 2, it means what? In a third shell there is 3 subshell. If it is 1, it is 1 subshell. 0 means there is 1 subshell. If L equal to 1, it means there is 2 subshells. If L equal to 3, it means there is 3 subshells. 1, 2, 3. And if L equal will be 3, then there will be 4 subshells. Then 0, 1, 2 and 3. So if L equal to what? 3, then what we will have? We will have 0, 1, 2 and 3. So how many subshell will be there? 4 subshell. Okay, so 4 subshells will be there. There are the subshells named S, P, D and F. There are 4 subshells named S, P, D, F. So if the azimuthal quantum number value is 0, then what it denote? It denote S subshell. If the value of L equal is 1, then it represent P subshell. If value of L 2, then D subshell, and if the value of L is 3, then F subshell. Understand? Okay. So these are the values of L, azimuthal quantum number, and it is a representation of shells. Okay. Now we will go for the next, that is magnetic quantum number M. So it just tell us electron is present in which orbital. Okay. And the electron cloud or an area in an atom where probability of electron is 90%. So what it represent? It represent probability of the electron and in which orbital electron is present. And how we will represent it? We will represent it M equal to minus L to plus L. Okay. And in one orbital 2 electron can be accommodated. In case of magnetic quantum number M, there can be maximum 2 number of electron that can be. Just clear the terms, that is shell, then after subshell, then after orbitals. So very first shell or orbit comes. Shell is also called the orbit. In the shell subshells are found, and in the subshell orbitals are found. Okay. Now orbitals is what? Now orbital is a small part of a orbit. What is orbital? Orbital is a small part of orbit in which maximum 2 electron can be accommodate. So in orbitals, how many electron can be accommodate? Only 2 electrons can be accommodate. Okay. Now here is M equal to 2L plus 1. Okay. So it is a formula to finding out the value of M. It is a representation of M where is it is a formula to calculate the M. So M equal to 2L plus 1. Now if N equal to 1, if N equal to 1, then value of L will equal to 0, which we just learn right now, because the formula is L equal to N minus 1. So value of L equal to 0. And now here we need the value of L. So what we will do, when we put the value of L, then what the value we will get for M? We will get 1. Okay. So when the value of L is 0, then the value of m equal to 1. Suppose there is n equal to 2. There are 2 shells, then the value of L equal to 1 here, and we will calculate the value of m by the representation values, not this exact value. What we will calculate here, we will calculate it like what? 3. Okay, so the representation value of L is 0 and 1. So in first case, so for the representation value of L equal to 1 is 0 and 1. So in first case we will have the value of m as 1 as we calculated here. In case 2 we will take the value, we will get the value of m as 3. Why? 2 into 1 plus 1, so it will be 2 plus 1, 3. Okay, so now we understand how we will calculate it. If there is n equal to 3, suppose if n equals to 3, then the value of L, representing value of L will be, now L will be 2 and the value will be 0, 1 and 2. These are the representation value of what? L. And from these values we will calculate the value of m in 3 cases. In first case we will get the same value as 1, in second case we will get the value as 3, and in third case we will get the value 2 into 2, that is 4 plus 1. We will get it 5. So I hope you understand how we will calculate the value of the m. So we just calculated the value of magnetic quantum number m with the formula, and this formula will give us the number of orbitals here. So when the value of L is 1, so its representation is 0 and 1, so it is S subshell and it is P subshells. So in a S subshell there is 1 orbital, and in P subshell there is 3 orbitals. So it will come from the representation. So how will we represent it? The formula of representing it is from minus L to plus L. This is the representing method of the magnetic quantum number. So for this, it is, suppose it is 0, L minus 1 to plus L, we will take it minus 1 to plus L, so it is 1. So when we'll take it minus 1 to plus 1, so it will become 0. So for first it will become 0, but for the next, when it is 1, then how will we represent it? That is minus 1 to plus 1. For 0 it will be 0 only. And so we just calculated the number of orbital with this formula. We did not go for the representing formula, that is minus L to plus L. Now we will do the representation of m. So representation of m we will do with the help of minus L to plus L. So when L equal to 0, then for this case it will become 0, and for the second case, if L equal to 1, then we will take it from minus L to plus L. So then what will happen? That is minus 1, 0, then plus 1. So how much orbital came? 1, 2 and 3. So m equal to 3 here, so 3 orbitals it is representing. Now when we take n equal to 3, so L will be, azimuthal number will be 2, and representation will be S, P and D subshells. So for m, for L equal to 0, it will be 0, and for next there will be 3 orbital like this. We did it here, and for this we will do, it should come 5 orbitals. And how will we come? Minus L to plus 1, so plus L, so minus 2, minus 1, 0, then +1 and +2. Okay, so how many orbitals came? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So m is representing 5 here. So we just calculated with this formula, representing formula, that 5 orbital will be there. So these are the x, y and z, and these values will be what? So these values will be according to the x, y and z axis. Okay, so we will do it in the next video.